The storm had stopped screaming, but the damage still whispered through the muddy streets of Kettlewood. Wooden shutters dangled from hinges, rusted roofs flapped like frightened birds. The creek had risen into homes the night before, swallowing beds, pots, prayer books, everything people didn't have time to grab. Eli Harper tightened the frayed rope around his coat and stepped out into the cold. He didn't own gloves. His boots had holes in both soles, patched with duct tape and hope, but there were still houses to check, and somewhere, someone always needed help after nights like this. He should have been home with Oliver, his sixth, spooning leftover lentils into thin slices of bread. But Eli didn't know how not to help. Maybe that's what got him in trouble all his life. Doing too much for others and not enough for himself. The last house on Creekside Lane sat half submerged in sludge. The windows were dark. Most folks had already evacuated this row, but as he stepped closer, something stopped him. No, someone, a faint cry. It wasn't a baby. It wasn't an animal. It was the sound of a grown woman, sobbing. Eli knocked hard. Hello, The door creaked open an inch, then an eye appeared. Please, she whispered. Don't leave me here. She looked no older than 30, barefoot and soaked to the knees. Her belly round and trembling pressed against the frame. She was very pregnant. I'll help you out, Eli said, already removing his coat. We'll go slow. I got a kid of my own. Let's get you somewhere warm. She hesitated, eyes darting behind her, then clutched his arm and stepped out. Did you get caught in the storm? He asked. But her answer was colder than the wind. My husband sold me last week to a man in a nearby town. He left me here last night. Said someone would come fetch me. Eli's jaw locked. He'd heard about men like that. The flood hadn't just unearthed trees, it had exposed the rot in people too. I'm not leaving you behind, he said firmly. And no one's going to take you again. He had no plan, no money, barely any food, but kindness that he had in spades. Eli guided her through ankle-deep mud as the clouds crouched low and gray over Kettlewood. Every few feet, she winced and paused, her hand on the wall of her belly. He supported her quietly, not asking anything more. She'd already said too much. And yet, not enough. They reached Eli's trailer, parked behind the remnants of an old mechanic's shop. A busted sign read, "Fixed right, fixed fare," but no one had come in years. Eli had turned the back room into a home after his wife left him, leaving behind only a note and a pair of baby shoes Oliver would never grow into. Inside. The air was warmer, faintly scented with boiled lentils and dish soap. Oliver sat on the floor with a bent puzzle, his dark curls messy, his eyes wide. Buddy, Eli said gently, we've got a guest. She's going to stay with us a while. Oliver's head tilted. She's got a baby. Eli half smiled. Sort of. The woman hesitated on the threshold. I don't want to be a burden. I just needed warmth. Eli finished. You need warmth. That's all I needed once too. He gave her a blanket and let her sit on the fold-out couch. It squeaked like it didn't want to be used, but she eased onto it like it was royalty. Oliver offered her a half-solved puzzle piece. She took it with a trembling laugh. What's your name? Eli asked. She hesitated, then whispered Naya. You want to talk about it? Naya stared at her hands, raw and red from cold. He married me because my father owed him money. Told me I was the debt. When I got pregnant, he got crueler. Then, last week, he told me someone would buy me and the baby. Said we'd get picked up after the flood. No one would notice. Eli stood still for a long moment, the silence between them thick as ice. No one's buying you now, he said softly, and no one's picking you up. She nodded, blinking hard. They made it through the night on lentils and tea. Nia asked for nothing, but Eli placed an extra pillow beneath her feet and handed her Oliver's only teddy bear without a second thought. That night, as wind whistled through cracked walls, Eli sat awake at the kitchen table. He had $43 to his name, no job since the garage shut down, and a son who needed more than he could give. And now, a stranger with a baby growing inside her. But somehow, in that silence, he didn't feel overwhelmed. He felt right. The knock came again, louder this time. It wasn't just asking to come in. It was demanding. Eli's breath slowed. He moved Oliver behind him instinctively, then turned toward Nia, who had gone pale. Her hands clutched the arm of the couch, like she could disappear into it. Nia, Eli whispered, you need to go in the back room. Now, she hesitated. They'll hurt you. They'll try. He locked eyes with her. There was something there, an echo of belief. Or maybe, just fear too sharp to argue. She nodded and moved toward the room where Oliver had once learned to crawl. Another knock. Then a voice, muffled by the door but soaked in menace. Eli Harper. We know she's in there. That made him freeze. They knew his name. He stepped to the door and opened it, just a crack. Two men stood outside. One was lean, with a hawk's face and a leather jacket that hadn't seen a day of mud. The other was larger, older, his eyes cold and confident, like he'd already decided how this night would end. You don't want to be involved in this, the big one said. That girl doesn't belong to you. Eli didn't blink. She doesn't belong to anyone. Hawkface took a step forward. Her husband says she ran. She's his wife. That baby in her belly is his too. You're harboring stolen property. Eli stared at them. You think a human being is property? The big man sneered. We ain't here to debate philosophy. Then something shifted. The man raised a phone, tapped the screen, and turned it toward Eli. A photo. Nia, bruised, crying, held by the same man now standing on Eli's porch. She's sick, the man said coldly. Unstable. You don't want that around your kid. Eli's jaw clenched. I saw the bruises. I saw the fear. You're not getting her. Hawkface stepped up to the edge of the porch. Then you just made this real complicated. Harper. Eli didn't move. Call the sheriff. The big man smirked. Oh, we are the sheriff. Eli's stomach turned. Of course, Kettlewood's law didn't come written in books, it came in favors and silence. We'll be back, the man growled. And next time, we won't knock. They left, their tires kicking up sludge as they tore back onto the road. Inside, Nia was shaking. I told you. They have friends everywhere. Eli knelt beside her. Then we'll go where they don't. She stared at him, confused. Where is that? He looked toward Oliver, who was trying to smile bravely. Someplace better. We're leaving tonight. The black car idled under the flickering streetlight, its engine growling like a beast that had already tasted blood. Behind it, 2 trucks boxed the road. Men stepped out slowly, 4, maybe 5. None of them were wearing badges this time. They didn't need to. Eli's hands shook as he locked the door, knowing it wouldn't stop them. We're boxed in, he muttered. Nia stood in the hallway, her belly rising and falling, like panic lived inside her lungs. We should run. There's a path behind the auto yard. They'll see us. They're waiting for that. Oliver clung to Eli's leg. Dad, what's happening? Eli crouched down. You remember the safe word? Oliver nodded. Blueberg? That's right. If anything happens to me, you say that word at the gas station down the road. You tell them you need a safe place. Are you gonna get hurt? Eli swallowed hard. Not if I can help it. Then came the sound of boots crunching gravel. A fist slammed the door. You've had your chance, Harper. Step aside. You've got 5 seconds. Nia gasped, clutching her side. The baby Eli, I think. Her knees buckled. Eli caught her before she hit the floor. Her water had broken. Oliver whimpered. Is the baby coming now? Yeah, buddy, this. Another bang on the door. I'm calling the sheriff. Eli shouted. You do that, came the reply. He's already outside. Eli looked down at Nia, then at his son. His home, such as it was about to be torn apart, unless, He took a breath and opened the door. The wind hit him first hissy and bitter. The men stood like wolves. The big one stepped forward, expecting surrender, but Eli didn't flinch. She's in labor, he said loudly. Right now. The men paused. I don't care what deal you think you made, Eli continued. But if you put your hands on her tonight, and something happens to her or that child, I swear to God, it won't just be me you have to answer to. It'll be this town, the ones watching, the ones too scared to speak. He pointed to the shadows. Behind broken fences and blacked out windows, neighbors peeked out. A few held phones, some held bats. The men looked around, uncertain now. You want to drag a pregnant woman out in labor. Go ahead, but do it, knowing you won't get a step before this town turns on you. Asterisk. The big man's jaw tightened. Then his phone buzzed. Asterisk. He glanced at the screen, cursed under his breath, and turned back to the others. Let's go. Asterisk. They retreated. The car, the trucks, they vanished into the night. Asterisk. Eli dropped to his knees beside Nia. Hang on, we'll get help. You're not alone. Asterisk. She clutched his hand, tears streaming down her face. Why did you do that? You could have lost everything. Asterisk. He pressed her hand to his heart. Because once someone left me in the cold too. I promised myself if I ever got the chance, I'd be the warmth someone else needed.